basically, I consider him one of the Instagram experts out there on YouTube right now. And I wanted him to go over my profile and give me some suggestions on what I can do to. All right. Hey, what's up, Josh? This is Brian Pfeiffer, also known as a Marketing Meathead, live from Las Vegas here. Got Josh Ryan live from New Zealand. And today we're going to do a little critique of my one of my Instagrams that I grew pretty good. It grew well up until about last June, and then so far it's been shrinking. So I brought Josh on the channel today to give me basically, I consider him one of the Instagram experts out there on YouTube right now. And I wanted him to go over my profile and give me some suggestions on what I can do to, number one, stop it from shrinking, and number two, get it to start growing again, because everything's changed. So, hey, Josh, how are you today, man?
Doing great. Cheers for the intro, man. It's good to be here.
You're welcome, man. So just a little bit about this profile. I know that one of the things that got me to start following you on YouTube was that you've grown a number of profiles to, I think, in excess of 100,000 followers, and a couple of those profiles were meme profiles, which it was kind of funny when I saw your first video on like a meme profile growth. I was like, well, man, I got a meme profile, and I was growing it pretty nicely up until like last June when they changed the algorithm. And so far this year, for the last like 6 months and all of 2020 here, it's been like not only not growing, but it's actually been shrinking. So my followers just keeps going down, not up. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, and I was hoping maybe you could help me out with that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely can give you some tips on how to improve this and get it growing again.
Sure. So like the profile for everybody's watching, if you want to check it out, is called marketingmeathead.com. That's the handle. Right now I'm at 12,900 followers. I do a pretty consistent posting schedule. I think my VA does my posting for me. She does like the memes, and then she also puts up the video clips. And then usually after a little while, we archive the video clips, so it's mostly just a meme page. But we try to put me in a couple of the memes, like pictures of me, so it looks like they're coming from me, even though we're grabbing these memes from different sources. There's a lot of meme pages out there that we've kind of cultivated over the years, and so we put some time into this profile. It's not like we've just neglected it over the last like 6 months. We're posting regularly. I think at least twice a day or 3 times a day, pretty consistently. We use a couple softwares. We use a software called Storito to post the stories, and we use Crypto. We use Hopper HQ to do the posts and the scheduling. Okay, so Hopper HQ does our post and scheduling, and Storito for the story scheduling. I have like 10 Instagram profiles, so I got some pretty big packages with those two softwares to put in like 10 profiles. So we use them for like all the profiles, but this is just one of them. But it's kind of frustrating, man, because I'm sitting here seeing this profile, basically continue to grow down. I think at one time I had it up to 14,000. I'm at like 12,900 right now. So in the last like 8 months or so, I've actually lost like 1,100 followers. So it's kind of frustrating. Now, I noticed my following is up to 7,500, which is maxed. That's the most you can follow. Usually I keep that lower. I used to keep that around like 6,000 or 5,000, and then I would be able to add some and then unfollow. But since I used to use Captivate, which was a software that was good for unfollowing and unfollowing on my iPhones and my iPads, and then I used to use another one called Follow Adder for my DMs. And so far, I tried both of those recently just to see if they would work again. And Captivate pretty much got me shadow banned right away. And Follow Unfollow didn't even work at all. I actually paid for another year of it, and I asked the guy for a refund. He finally, like a week later, refunded me because I'm pretty sure that software just doesn't work at all. But I was using that to DM the people that followed me. And then what I would do is I would send them like a DM, an automatic message to, hey, check out my YouTube channel, check out my free course, and check out my blog or whatever. I had a nice, pretty cool written up DM, and it was actually driving traffic pretty good to my YouTube channel, getting people from Instagram over to my YouTube, and then getting them over to my free course as well, and getting them kind of into my funnel. And that it was working really well. But since I haven't been able to use either of those softwares, I pretty much like just haven't done anything with this thing. So I'm hoping today you can give me some tips and get me back to the point where I'm able to do some DMs, start driving leads to my YouTube and my free course, and then also getting me to grow this thing again, where like it was growing. So let me know what you think.
Yeah, for sure. That all makes sense. Follow on follow is definitely a pretty strong way to grow back in the day, especially 2, 3, 4 years ago.
Right.
Before Instagram sort of cottoned on to everything, and now they're pretty strict on letting people have access to the API and so on. So they're pretty strict on those companies, and even if you don't use a company, Instagram don't really like it too much. They do restrict your reach a bit when you are doing it too much. Too much of anything, really. Too much. If you spam your posts, if you spam your hashtags, if you're spamming anything, that they're sort of restricting your reach pretty hard, which is pretty annoying. But yeah, I mean, the first thing is I would try and get content that sort of pops out a little bit more, a bit more colorful potentially. I mean, on a lot of my pages, I use like infographics, and there is usually a nice bit of color to them, and they sort of stand out a bit more. So if someone sees it in their feed or in the Explore page, then they're more likely to touch on it, have a look at it, potentially follow the account. If you want to do some examples, one of my accounts is Income Notebook, which we're posting a lot of these on, and they've been doing really, really well in the algorithm recently.
This one right here?
Past sort of, yeah, that one there. So
let's take a look here.
We've been doing a lot of, like, if you look at those, if someone sees that in their feed, that sort of catches their attention.
Yeah, because it's different, right?
Title, the colors. Yeah,
where are you getting these things? Are you having somebody make these for you, like an assistant?
Yeah, I've got someone that makes them for me and actually manages my pages. So
this is good.
I mean, those are the
I'm gonna send this to my VA if you don't mind to have her look at it.
Yeah, go for it. Exactly. Yeah, because the good thing about content is it's something like if you can get your content growing your account, that's always going to work. Like Instagram are never going to patch that. Like if you're putting out content that attracts eyeballs, gets people clicking on your page, there's no, like, that's always going to work. It's going to be forever. It'll help you grow on social media. That's the first one. Second thing is if you go back to your account and have a bit of a look at the hashtags. I had a quick look at those before.
Yeah, let me take a look at that here. I'm just sending this to my VA. So I'm taking notes and I'm sending stuff to my VA as we go here. So this is good stuff, man.
Perfect.
Like this is like a free consulting call from a six-figure marketer here. So I like it. Okay, let's just take the latest post here, and here's some hashtags that I had on here.
Yeah, so I would click on the first one. The one I think you've got market. You've got your username as a hashtag, right?
Yeah, my user. Yep, here we go.
Sweet. Yeah, so with your hashtags, what I'd be doing is I'd be using ones that have got between. If you look at the top of that, you'll see it says, up the top it says how many posts it has. Yeah. With your hashtags, use Marketing Meathead because it's your username. Right. With the rest of them, try find hashtags that are between sort of 50,000 posts and about sort of 2 to 3 million when you're starting out. Because if you have a look at the other one, I think I had a look before. A lot of them, see that one there, you're not really going to get any traction from that. It's sort of like a waste small, right? Hashtag. Yeah, like there's 2,300 posts over the last 10 years of Instagram. So there's like every couple of days someone uses it. Yeah.
Let's take a look at another one here.
And so you're very unlikely to get on it.
Now this one's a lot bigger. This one's got 4 million posts. So
yeah, that one's much bigger. But I would probably try and use between 50,000 and sort
probably
of a few
too big, right, for my profile.
Maybe. I mean, right now, maybe. And
this one's probably perfect. Like exactly what you're talking about. Business owner life.
Exactly.
68,466. Okay.
Yeah. So I would use a range. I'd have like a few that are like that size, a few that are maybe, 3, 4, 500,000.
Okay.
And then a few that are like 1, 2 million sort of thing. Because that way they're like small enough for you to show up on, but at the same time, you're actually going to get some sort of traction from them.
Yeah. Here's like you said, like there, 500,000.
That one's good.
Yeah. We're using a software. I forgot to mention, we use a software called FlickTech for the hashtags. Have you heard of them?
I haven't actually.
They're pretty good. It's a hashtag tool, basically, and this is where she usually finds. This is my assistant that does this. I showed her how to use this stuff, and then I let her do it just because I don't have the time. I run, a lot of businesses, so I can't do all these Instagrams too. But she does pretty good. Like she's a pretty good designer, so she comes up with this. So this one's around 1 million.
Yeah. That one's good.
Yeah. So I think she's doing okay on the hashtags. I don't think she's like that far off. 1.5, and this was the same thing that FlickTech, we went through like the training. They had like their own training, Flick Tech, whatever it's called. And this is kind of what they showed us. I remember them telling us the same thing. You know, here's 500, 1.2. I mean, this is, like you said, over the course of 10 years of Instagram. That's not like that ridiculous. This one's pretty big. This one's a little ridiculous, 60 million.
Yeah.
You got no chance of ranking on that one. But
I mean, if you've got a bigger account, if you've got, you know, if someone's watching this, they got 50, 100K followers and they're getting good engagement, use bigger ones. If you're smaller, use maybe smaller ones. So when you're just starting out, maybe use some like 50K, 100K, 200K sort of sizes.
Okay.
If you're bigger, go for bigger ones, because you're obviously going to get more growth if you're showing up on Entrepreneur or Business, but like the competition is pretty hard. You're competing with pages. Like,
now, what about the amount of hashtags? I notice here she's got 1, 2, 6, 7, about 10, 8 to 10 are here. Looks like. What do you recommend? I know you can go up to 30, right?
Yeah, I would sort of recommend between 10 and 25, sort of somewhere. I mean, I just constantly test. So sometimes I use less, sometimes I use more, just to see sort of what's working best at the time. Okay. I've found, and I've heard a lot of people say, it hasn't actually been confirmed, but that if you always use 30, Instagram sort of limits your reach, because they sort of, the way they see it is that a normal person wouldn't be putting exactly 30 in every single one. So it comes across as kind of spammy.
Okay.
So I tend to use about 25 often in mine. But again, it's something that I'm constantly testing, because the algorithm constantly is getting tweaked and changed and so on.
Sure. What about the the memes? Like you said, you're doing stuff more that stands out a little bit nowadays, because I feel like a lot of people use these exact same memes, you know, with like a picture and then just a quote. They're kind of like drowned in the feed right nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. You want to find like the style of content that's popping. Like if you were posting that, I don't know how long you've been doing this page. Like I was doing very similar stuff to that sort of 3-4 years ago. It was getting really good reach because it was pretty new.
Right.
Now, not so much. There's like so many pages doing it. And now those like infographics are pretty new, but even those, like a lot of people are starting to use those. So maybe in 6 months time, there's another sort of style of content that pops up that just starts doing really well. Just jump on whatever's working at the time.
Message. Sure.
Yeah, because it's all the same message. Like the infographics are the same message as these quotes. They're just packaged in a different way that's sort of appealing better at the time. So it's just about getting your message out there in a way that.
No, and that other one that you showed me, that was what, income story or income school?
Income notebook, yeah.
Income notebook, income. I want to look at this. Do you do anything with your stories on there at all?
I've been pretty weak on my theme page stories recently, although I tend to just share my stuff, share some other account stuff, do a few story polls. Although
I noticed you don't even have any like like tabs up here, where a lot of people put the tabs up here. And
that's not because of any growth hack. I probably should put something up there. I probably should have like a about me sort of thing, and that would drive traffic to my YouTube, and then maybe a collection of some tips on social media and so on. It's mostly just because I haven't really done it. I've had other people managing my pages at the moment, and I should be setting that up, but I just haven't got around to it.
Now, are you doing any sponsored posts on these pages at all?
Yeah, we do, but we often delete them after 24 hours unless they get good engagement. So if you see like some of them have got like good engagement, so we leave them up.
Decent. 736.
Yeah. Although
890.
The recent ones on that one haven't done too well, but if you scroll down a bit further, some of them are getting a lot better sort of engagement.
2,000 likes, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
92 comments.
And then like see that one in the bottom right, you'll be the first millionaire. That one there, I believe, is a shout out for someone else, but because it would have got good engagement, we leave it up.
I got you. Okay, 3 days ago.
So those that do well, we tend to leave up. Although I wouldn't be too worried about doing sponsored posts early on.
No, I'm not. I was just curious. Yeah. I honestly, I don't even really want to do sponsored posts. I just was curious because you got a decent amount of followers here, 239K. It's a pretty large page, So,
cheers, yeah. Most if you're trying to make an income as well off Instagram, for those listening and for yourself, I think you already do it, but you're much better off to promote your own businesses.
Right.
It's way more profitable.
Well, that's what I was using it for the longest time. I was just what I would do is I would get the people to follow me, and then I would send them a DM, and I'd make it real
Yeah.
simple for them to go and put, just to click on my YouTube, because I was trying to drive, subscribers to my YouTube, because if people can get over to my YouTube, they're going to see a video of me, and that's more likely for them to be interested, or at least buy something from me down the road if they know, like, and trust my video. You know what I'm saying? You and I are both like pretty much right around the same on YouTube. We both have right around 3,000 subscribers, and it's like, any way we can do to, kind of compete with the big boys right now, we got to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you put out a video, we get like 200 views and we're happy. Those other guys, they get 200 views in the first 10 minutes sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. And the automated DMs are very good, but you just make sure that it's like an approved software by Instagram. So
because the one I started using doesn't work anymore. Do you have anyone that you know of that works, that you could recommend?
I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I'll find out after this call, and it can be linked below. There's a person I know that does them.
What about running paid traffic? Trying to run some story paid traffic to try to get your profile, seen by more people. What are your thoughts on that?
I would say potentially in your situation, because chances are you've got a bit of a shadow ban from Instagram for unfollowing a lot. Yeah. If you run like a couple dollars a day just for sort of like 2 weeks, that might help sort of lift that ban, because if you're spending money on the ad platform, Instagram are more likely to, not hurt your account. But outside of trying to get rid of a shadow ban, the better way... Oops, just bumped my microphone. The better way to grow and get more exposure would be through influencers. You'll get much more exposure for a much cheaper price, paying larger accounts in your niche to basically share your content, share like 3 or 4 pictures of your content, and then have a big, go follow it at Marketing Meathead for more of this content, or for more to learn how to make money, or to,
I guess if I get serious about this, I got to have some kind of funnel in place to where I'm at least capturing the emails of people that are at least beyond a little bit interested. You know what I'm saying? Because at some point I want to try to sell them an affiliate product or one of my own products. Because if you don't have that, then you're basically just spending money and just growing to grow. There's not really like any kind of back end behind there. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, exactly. So if you've got a back end behind that, if you've got a free ebook that leads to affiliate offers or course upsells or whatever, then you can spend $100 on influencers and make that back, and then you can just sort of rinse and repeat that cycle.
Yeah, I used to use Linktree. I'm sure you're familiar with Linktree. That's a popular link builder on Instagram. I just did a video on this. I'm making this. I'll put a link above too, by the way. I made this now my own domain, like a custom thing, but I made it like a custom Linktree. You know what I'm saying? So I got my YouTube channel on here, my free affiliate marketing course, recent blog post, personal website, educational website, and then I got all my social media links here. But the thing about I use ClickFunnels for this. And now, number one, I think this looks a little bit more professional because it's actually not like a Linktree link. And, number two, now it's a lot more customizable because I can use ClickFunnels to customize the crap out of this. Whereas Linktree are a little bit more, a little bit more, I still had mine looking pretty nice. It kind of looked like this, but it wasn't quite this nice. So,
ClickFunnels is pretty good for that sort of design stuff.
Yeah. I mean, as long as I'm paying like a yearly fee anyway for them, I might as well use them and not pay Linktree $6 a month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying there, man. Maybe run a couple bucks a day. Now, as far as like, if I was running like a story ad, there's obviously two ways I could run this. I could run it on the Instagram feed, or I could run it as a story ad. What would you suggest? If I was going to do some paid advertising, what would you suggest me to do as far as like, what should I advertise? Should I advertise me? Should I advertise more the meme? What should I, I'm just a little curious. I don't sit there on stories that much and look at the advertisements, to be honest with you. Most of the stuff I get is like e-com because I've tricked the algorithm and stuff. So I don't ever really see anybody advertising like their own profiles. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just don't see it very often. So I don't even know what to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's because influencers, from a growth standpoint, you'll get a way better bang for your buck using influencers.
Influencers? Okay.
The only reason I would do like $1 or $2 a day for 2 weeks would be just to sort of get Instagram liking you again.
Get them to like me again. I got you. Okay.
So it could just be as simple as boosting a post. It could be running a simple story ad, which is just like, hey, this is me. This is what I do. This is who I am. Swipe up and look at my Instagram. Swipe up and grab my ebook, whatever it might be.
Sure.
But the main goal isn't necessarily growth from that. It's just getting Instagram to sort of favor your account a little bit more. If you're looking for growth, the best thing is definitely influencers. That's where most of your experts are sort of growing. Like, you never see Gary Vee running paid story ads or anything like that, really. I haven't actually seen him doing it, but he's spent hundreds of thousands, if not millions, on influencers to promote his page.
So people in like the entrepreneurial space, those would be like the targets, guys that maybe have like 50, 75, 100,000 followers that obviously are like, you know, some have decent engagement, and then hit them up and see what they'll charge for like a 24-hour shout out type of thing, right? And what do you want to do? Do you want to have them do a story, or would you rather have them do an actual post for 24 hours?
I would be doing a post. Some people can do stories. Some people like stories more. I personally found better results with posts. Okay. It just seems to be a better way to get it out there. When you're promoting a page, if you're promoting a product, like if you're pushing people to a free ebook, to your YouTube, something like that, then I would test a story, because story you can get the swipe up, which is it means it's like less, how do you word it, less like friction for someone to take action, rather than having to click on the account, go to the bio, hit the link, simple swipe up. For growth, I would be doing feed posts. They perform better for me at the moment anyway.
Got it. Okay. And are you running any shout outs or any paid influencer stuff on your income page?
Not at the moment, because it's already growing so pretty well. It's already growing like 700 to 1,000 followers a day just from putting out content, because it's already a decent size. So it's just growing on its own from content ranking, showing up in hashtags, explore page, etc. Although I am going to do like a thing where I build my own sort of like personal brand through doing that, and I'll basically just be spending money on influencers to grow the account, turning around and monetizing it with a course, and then reinvesting that money and sort of rinsing and repeating that sort of strategy there.
Yeah, I bought your course, by the way. I haven't personally gone through it, but I gave it to my assistant. So,
oh, awesome.
Yeah. I just haven't had time to go through it yet. I will eventually. But I kind of had to put Instagram aside, because at one time I had everything growing nicely and it was driving leads for my businesses. And then, you know, when it stopped doing that, then, you know, you got to devote your energy toward other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not driving leads, you're kind of just wasting your time. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to hit you up. I still think there's maybe an opportunity here to get something going, but you got to kind of do, you know, maybe a little bit above and beyond, you know, think outside the box a little bit from what it used to be. You know what I'm saying? It used to be follow worked, post 3 times a day. You know, I feel like you almost got to get a little more personal with the profiles nowadays too. What are your thoughts on that? Getting a little more personal with like maybe the stories and trying to get some engagement that way.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's how it sort of is these days. I mean, like you say, a few years ago, it was pretty. You could even just set up an account with 9 photos on it, write a good bio, have your link there, and then just run it on unfollow all day long, and you know, you'd get a ton of leads from it. It would work. It would get you out there. But nowadays, it is more effort. It's more energy to grow. But at the same time, you can still get a ton of leads once it does start working well. We're still.
The problem is I have like a personal profile. I think we've been the one communicating on that. And this one is almost up to 10K. And I've been teetering at like 9,500 for like literally like 7 months. It's like, dude, I just cannot get to that 10K no matter what I do, you know? And I try to be personal on this, you know, do like when I'm out and about. I was up snowmobiling in the North Woods of Wisconsin. I took some pictures there. I took some stories, and I get some good engagement on that stuff because people are interested. These are people that mostly know me, my friends and stuff. But man, it's like, it's not shrinking, but it's also not growing. It's like hovering at the same level. Notice I still got the link tree here. I actually should update that because I no longer even have that anymore. I got to update that. I'm glad I just saw that.
Put your ClickFunnels one in.
Yeah. I just noticed that. So I didn't realize that was the one on here. But yeah, same thing here. I mean, I just do more like personal stuff. I try to do a little bit more personal posts and, you know, prettier girls and stuff. And that it seems to hold its own. This one isn't shrinking, at least. It's kind of holding its own. So I think it's probably a combination of me being personal on it and, you know, the people just like pretty girls. They typically do a little bit better than, here's one with 71, 72. They typically do pretty good. Like these club ones, they don't do so hot, like just this kind of stuff. But the girls typically, here's 195, 67. The girls ones just do better, bro. Just the way it is.
Yeah. I would say the other thing with your personal one here is just pick sort of what niche I guess you're trying to go for, because I mean you've got some photos at the club with the pretty girls, and then you've got some photos of giving like marketing tips for like the replacing link tree with ClickFunnels, and then quotes. Sort of like, I guess what you want to sort of work out is who you want to target. Like, are you trying to get people to come to the club? If so, put out a ton of content around that. Are you trying to?
I was just kind of using this one. Normally that's what I do, is just the club. That if you look down lower, it was mostly all club back in the day. And then I started growing my YouTube, and I'm like, man, I need to figure out how to grow this as fast as I can. So I started using this profile now more for like pushing people to YouTube a little bit and stuff. So I don't know, I might switch it back and just do straight club, because that's kind of my other whole business, and just use the Marketing Meathead one for, that was the original idea, was the Marketing Meathead one is, more for the educational company and the YouTube and the memes and that kind of stuff. And this was the personal one, you know what I'm saying? But then I just started kind of convoluting both of them just to drive more traffic, because I was using the DMs on this too, and I was getting leads, people to subscribe to my YouTube and, go into my free course from both profiles, you know what I'm saying? So, and now I'm not really doing that. So I could probably just back off on the marketing side of this one and just do this more personal, and that one more marketing, you know what I'm saying? So I'll actually talk to my VA about that. Probably a good suggestion.
Yeah, because that way it's actually going to help you a couple ways. Like, firstly, at the moment, maybe like half your audience are following you for the club, and the other half are following you for the business.
Right.
Just as a random example, which means like you're going to be getting half the like average engagement, and when you're getting less engagement, so like 5,000 of your followers say want to see your club stuff.
Right.
So maybe 2% of them engage with that, which is pretty average on Instagram. But because the other half don't want to see it, like your engagement drops. Whereas if they're all following you for business stuff, when you put out business stuff, everyone's interested in it. It gets better engagement. It starts ranking better. When all your audience is about like one thing, it does help your content rank much, much better.
Yeah, I feel like I could probably still get away with an occasional meme, but probably get rid of the videos and get rid of the the videos and stuff. Probably would be the best. Occasional meme, just make it more personal, more clubby, and just that's what this is. No business stuff per se. Then make the other one pretty much all business, But one thing I don't do on this Marketing Meathead one is I don't post a lot of like personal stuff on the stories, and I don't do anything personal down here. So, maybe I could make this a little bit, make the stories at least a little bit more like business related type stories. You know what I'm saying? So I get more people interested, people that are interested in me, following me for the business side of things. They at least get to see me, because I really don't do any personal story posts at all. You know what I'm saying? Like none. I mean, on this one anyway. So I don't know. I guess I could try that for a little while and see how that does with my engagement if I get people interested at all. So
yeah. And another thing I would do is I would record like a sort of like a who am I sort of style story, where it might be 5, 6, 7 stories in a row of you saying like who you are, what you do.
Oh, and make like a tab here for that?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay,
what people
that's
can
a good idea.
expect to get from following you, and then maybe like a link to your YouTube or to your email list or something. So every time someone comes across your page, they can see that, they can learn a bit more about you, and then they can go follow your YouTube, join your email list, etc. Because you might not always have like, for example, if someone discovers your account in a month, they might not really be able to find out who you are because, you told people today. But if you had it as a story highlight, it's a good way to sort of turn new followers from just someone who's seen your account into someone who really likes your content or knows you a bit better.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. Okay. What do you think about, like, I've seen a lot of people with their profiles, they have like an icon over the, these little stories up here. They make like little icons. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about your thoughts on that?
They look good. It makes it look nice and clean. Yeah. I think they're pretty good. Okay. I've used them on my different accounts in the past, and yeah, they're nice. Makes everything tidy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And it's kind of better when you have like at least like 5 or 6, so it kind of fills up this whole, this area here. You got all this white space sort of, and I feel like if you had like 6 or 7 story. What I don't know what those are even called. Are they called like
Story
save
highlights,
stories or
yeah.
something? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Save stories. Basically, you had like 6 or 7 across here, and it would just like if you look over here at like Brian's Surreal, you can see I have like like 7 or 8 of them here, and it just looks more full, and then you can see there's even more. You click on here, so it just looks like it's more active, in my opinion. So
Yeah. Although then again, you don't have to have lots, because at the same time, if you want to push a ton of attention to just one, like if your main goal is to push people to your email list,
right,
and you've got one story highlight, which is like, who am I? We go through who you are, what you do, and then you push people to an email list, then like 100% of people who see your story highlights are going to be seeing that. Whereas if you have 10 different ones, one about your travels, one about who are you, one about your YouTube, like you're going to split the attention, so you get less on each individual one. If that
okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So
that makes sense.
it goes both ways. But
Yeah,
I guess it depends.
it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. All right. Well, anything else you can think of? I got a bunch of notes here of things that we're going to start trying to do here. So maybe we'll check in a few months and see how some of these suggestions go. You know what I'm saying?
The other thing I would try is do some Instagram TV videos, just purely because at the moment Instagram TV is pretty profitable for Instagram, because, I mean, for those listening, Instagram make money from keeping people on the platform for a long period of time and then being able to show them a ton of ads. If you put up a quote, they might stay on Instagram for 5-6 seconds. Like that might captivate them for that long.
Okay.
If you put up a 5-minute Instagram TV, they're staying on there for 5 minutes, which is like 60 times as long. So it's much more profitable for Instagram to show people Instagram TV videos than quotes. So there's a good boost.
I just read an article yesterday actually that they're talking about like going to monetization with the IGTV.
They actually have started rolling out monetization for like a few like beta testers.
Okay.
I haven't got it, but I know a friend that's got access to it. So
this is, you just click on IGTV here and just upload a video. You're ready to go, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Looks like you can even do it from desktop, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, do it from desktop, do it from mobile, up to you, as long as you've got it.
Well, that's nice for desktop, because if you take like a clip of your, like your YouTube video that you already did and repurpose it, resize it for IGTV here, that it's just easy to do on your desktop, whereas on the phone, I think it would be a little bit more tricky. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you can connect a IGTV and Facebook page. Looks like you can connect your page here even, so which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you can connect your page and then it can upload to both.
I love it. There we go. Boom. Oh, so it looks like, where do you want? Okay, so you have to do either one or the other. You can't do both here at the same time. Okay.
No, I think that one says IGTV and
IGTV and Facebook page. So you just do it to both. Okay. Got it. Interesting. Yeah. I've never used this before, so this is like new territory for me. You can actually put a thumbnail. Look at the size here. It's a weird size though. So when my VA, what we'll have to do is have to make a thumbnail separate from YouTube as for IGTV. Interesting. Yeah,
because it often pops up as like a full thing in the news feed.
Yeah, I can see some potential here, because IGTV, once they start to monetize, I know that there's even a little bit of a movement out there. People are starting to monetize like the Facebook pages. Like I know Snoop Dogg and Mike Tyson, or not? Is it Mike Tyson? I think it's Mike Tyson's page. I follow a guy on YouTube who kind of does that whole thing, the Facebook.
Yeah.
I think his name's Lester Diaz.
Yeah.
And I mean, I see a lot more videos now on Facebook, because I think people are actually uploading that purposely because they're making money. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Well,
they're definitely making a run at YouTube's video world, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. Like even people like Lil Pump and so on, I've seen them like uploading just random ads videos on Facebook all day long about like magic tricks or street fights or silly
nothing. Like I'm sure it's somebody, some service or company out there that is contracted with Lil Pump and Snoop Dogg. It isn't Snoop Dogg and Mike Tyson doing that. They're just leveraging their name and taking a cut of the profits. That's what they're doing. So
it's just someone they go and upload a bunch of stuff, and I think they give the.
I mean, if anybody out there is trying to start a new business, in my opinion, that I feel like that's a very untapped market. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if they could get a system in place where they're able to cultivate these like celebrities and get some kind of contract in place and a team to put the videos up that they're putting it up legally and not getting in trouble with copywriting and shit, that could be potentially a a booming business in 1 or 2 or 3 years from now. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and there's already some people doing that are making a lot of money. So
yes,
definitely a good spot to be.
We're entrepreneurs, so we recognize these things a lot of times before they become mainstream, and that's something I see kind of just like starting to take off right now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to guess with IGTV becoming monetized, there's going to be an opportunity similar to that there, and IGTV.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For sure. So
yeah. Although I think with Instagram TV, with Instagram in general, is like there's less of an algorithm than Facebook, so you can't quite pollute your feed as much.
right.
Like Facebook, you can post like a Facebook page, like Lil Pump could post 10 videos in a day, and people wouldn't see all 10 because Facebook might only show them like 1 or 2. On Instagram, if you posted like 10 videos, people would be like, what the heck? If you did that. So you probably won't be able to do it on the same degree, but still totally good thing to be doing to make some money for clients or yourself or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, I got a whole page of notes here, bro. So, I think there's a lot of things we can start trying to put into place. I like the whole IGTV thing. Like you said, I think they're really pushing that right now. So probably get some nice exposure if you put up decent content over there.
Yeah.
And then, all the other little things like making it a little more personal. I put down a lot of stuff, working on the hashtags a little bit more, infographics. I got like 10 different things here. So we're valuable video today, guys. So anybody watching this is getting the real deal here. So
yeah. And your hashtags that look like you had a decent job on most of them look pretty good. There's just a few that had like 1,000 or 2,000 posts, and
that's just a waste of time, basically.
Yeah. But the rest of them look pretty good. So they've done a decent job.
And anything about the, this section here, the description that you can think of that might help me?
I don't really like the text being like that weird font. I don't know. Might just be personal preference. It probably
I use a company called Yatex. I've done a video on this. Have you heard of them?
Oh yeah. Nah. And the other thing that I would do would be in your bio name. Oh yeah.
Yatex. Basically, you just post in your words here, and then it gives you like 100 different fonts. Like say just hello here. You'll see. And you'll see, basically, you can copy and paste all these different fonts. There's like 1,000 of them here. So whatever font you want, okay?
Yeah.
And you just put in your emojis and everything, and then you just copy right here, and then you paste it, and that's what that does. I don't know. I just thought it stood out a little bit more. I learned this trick from this girl, Charlize Trainer. She's this Matt Trainer's wife. He's a pretty big internet marketer, and this was one of her little tricks in a course I went through way back when. And I don't know, man, I don't think it's a deal breaker to have a little bit of flair. You know what I'm saying? But what other suggestions do you have for me? I know you want some emojis up in here. That's always been a big thing.
Yeah, they're good. I would take out I would change your not the username, but the name where it says Marketing Meathead Web Expert. I would put that. I just put a couple of keywords in there because you don't have to because like if someone searches Marketing Meathead, they're going to find your account because of your username. So you don't need to have it twice. Like the name and the username is like 2 different opportunities to rank for keywords.
So right here, you're saying.
Yeah. So I would take out the Marketing Meathead and put like, you could have Web Expert and Marketer or something.
But I don't think Web Expert people are going to be searching for. They're going to be probably searching for more stuff like entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or it could be, nightclub promoter or digital marketing secrets, digital marketing tips, something like that. So you can rank for like those words there, or really whatever. But that there and your username are like the 2 different.
Because there's no reason to have Marketing Meathead in the username and then right here in the name. That makes no sense. Yeah,
exactly. Because you're already showing up at the top because of your name.
So I mean, digital marketing is a little bit better than what I had up there for sure. So at least it's a start.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now when people search digital marketing, they can see your account show up. Depending on, their preferences, it could be higher or lower, but it'll generate you some more exposure.
That's a good tip right there. I've always been on the fence here about having a ton of following. That they'd always get up to like 7,500 and then you drop it back down. And then, we're not doing the follow method. So I was almost thinking about having my VA. I could probably go in and, you know, like this profile, I don't really view a lot of people's stuff on, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, I'm more worried about my Brian Surreal one because that's the one I typically like look at other people's stories and look at other people's feeds. This profile, I don't really do that on. So would you recommend maybe dropping this down to like less, like maybe like 500 or 1,000 following? So it looks more like I'm not pulling the shenanigans of the follow unfollow. Is that a good idea in your opinion?
Yeah, for sure. Although
Okay.
don't do it all at once, because if you unfollow like 1,000 people a day for 6 days, like Instagram are going to be like, what's happening here?
Right. So
And
maybe
probably
every
limit your
day
stuff.
drop it by like 100 or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And
Sort of
then eventually
100,
get it down to
150.
like say 600 or 700. So it looks like I'm actually following real friends or real people, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And your account probably is already a little bit limited because of doing follow unfollow in the past. Although if you start putting in a bunch of these things, tidy things up, run a couple bucks a day in ads, it should help improve things and
Run a couple
lift
ads, get a couple influencer shout outs, drop the following, start doing some better posts. Man, there's like so many different things that I could be doing. It's like a
Yeah,
laundry list.
exactly.
Awesome, man. Well, anything else you think I could add to this? Like, just any last suggestions before we sign off?
I would say that's pretty well nailed everything.
Okay.
I mean, one thing you can do once you start getting a bit more momentum is doing like cross promotion with other pages. So find other pages that post similar content of a similar size. You post one of their pictures, like one of their quotes or something. They post one of yours, and you sort of promote each other, which
Okay.
is a good
What
way to grow.
about what do you think about the live, Instagram live?
Yeah, Instagram Lives is great too. It's not really going to grow your account that much, but it's a good way to turn your followers into like loyal fans and people who are more likely to become customers and so on.
Okay, got it. Good. So maybe an occasional go live if I got something exciting worth showing.
Yeah, for
Maybe
sure.
stats on like a recent campaign that if I'm making money, that type of thing. Okay. Awesome, man. Well, literally, I got to take these notes and put them into my notes on my phone because I just wrote them down. But yeah, man, everything on here, man, I'm gonna put into action like this week. And like I said, I'm really curious to see if number one I can just stop shrinking. I'll be happy with that. And if it starts growing a little bit, then we're really onto something. But it's going to take me a little while if I'm only dropping the following by 100 per day. It's going to take me at least a couple months to drop that down to a more feasible level. And then, I got to start getting some more better posts and I got to do some better stories. But a who is section would be pretty cool. But yeah, I'll get all this stuff rolling. And then if you can think of a software that does the DMs, I'd be interested in hearing about that. Maybe you can brainstorm it a little bit and I could do a follow-up video on that if we find something that is good for that. But the follow adder I used to use doesn't work at all anymore. So if any of you guys have, tried that out, it just doesn't work anymore. I had a video up on it that actually was making me some nice affiliate commissions. So I was kind of sad to see it go.
Yeah. I believe the DM software is called Direct Heroes. Someone that I know, I believe that's the name of it. He runs it. And as far as I'm aware, that's one of the better ones.
Okay.
Don't personally use it myself. I've sort of mostly been focused on clients recently rather than my own stuff. But yeah, I've heard that one's pretty good. But
yeah, I mean, the thing about Instagram, if people are following you and you hit them with a DM and then they go subscribe to your YouTube, that in itself is worth probably the price of the software. If you can get them from one platform to the other, in my opinion, that helps. But then again, you got to wonder the risk if Instagram sees you getting people from their platform to the other platform, they can see that. That's probably not good for your profile. Right?
Nah, they will definitely limit that if you're pushing YouTube hard. Yeah.
Yeah, well, something like this isn't quite as bad because I'm pushing a bunch of stuff. I do have my YouTube on here, but
yeah.
I mean, I think everybody out there is pushing people to something on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? They're pushing people to something. So
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So all good. I'll probably just leave this up here and maybe just tell people to go check out my social media and see if they click on some other stuff. It is what it is. So all good, man. Well, awesome, bro. I appreciate the advice. I feel like there's a lot of value in this video. Hopefully everyone out there watching appreciates it and gives us both a like because we're going to put this on my channel and your channel around the same time. And make sure you like our videos. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to each of our channels and bang that notifications bell so we can, notify you when other good stuff comes out. And even the update for this this video, maybe in a few months, we'll do an update part 2 and give you guys the latest and greatest on how these tactics work. So Josh, anything you want to add before we close this one out?
I think we've pretty much covered everything. I think that's all pretty well sorted. I think if you do that, you should definitely be able to turn around your results on Instagram and get some better growth and push some more leads into whatever offers it is that you're promoting at the time. Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, even if I'm not promoting anything, just to at least have it, stop shrinking would be made me happy at this point. So, yeah, man. So hopefully we can go from there. But great talking to you, man. Let's plan on another touch base in a few months, and we'll go from there. Awesome, dude. Sounds good. Let's do it. Man. Talk to you later. Bye. Cheers.